Wisam Salsaa, I'm the manager of the Waldorf Hotel. Banksy came to Bethlehem in 2005, and that was just almost a couple of years after the Israelis started building the wall. And this is when I met him. And at that time I did not know who Banksy is, or I actually never heard of Banksy. And he's done lots of amazing work at the wall, and actually he was almost the first graffiti artist to paint on the wall. I remember it very well when he was painting very close to the Israeli soldiers, which was, I mean, they never liked what he's doing. And been also like a point when there was clashes and shooting while he was painting nearby Qalandia checkpoint in Ramallah. Anyway, I just like it was a different experience, like to be with international artists who would rescue his life like this. Anyway, I did not. I did not know who that guy is. I mean, just like I've been with him as a person, but I never knew that this guy is a famous guy. And after maybe 3 or 4 months after he left, I was watching Al Jazeera at that time, and suddenly I saw the graffiti that he'd done with me, and I was, oh my God! And then like they were talking, saying Banksy, and then I went to Google and Googled him. This was the big surprise. So.
And you know, if you go back to 2005, I suppose people forget just how dangerous it was to paint on that wall at that time. Because if you look at it now, lots of people are painting on it. It's covered in graffiti and street.
Actually, 2005, like Palestine was like a war zone. I mean, it was not safe at all in all levels, even. In the local level, in the interior level, it was not safe. So nothing was safe actually here. So, and no one was, I mean, you know, because of that, the wall was something new, and because of that, the internationals were not coming. Even tourists were not coming at all. I mean, you would not see, like you would go to the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem and you don't find 5 visitors there. For locals, of course, the wall was something new, and was, I mean, they did not know what kind of threats they may face if they do anything on the wall. Anyway, you have to know that graffiti was being always illegal by the occupation. Many Palestinians got killed because they were writing on the walls, like in towns. It was completely illegal, and for doing graffiti on the wall, the Israeli occupation used to put people for months or even for a year in a prison for doing graffiti on the wall. So for Palestinians, they did not even, they did not get close to the wall at that time. And even later on, some Palestinians thought that we should not paint on the wall because you should not make the wall look beautiful. I don't know, that's just the point of view. And you know, like locals don't look at the wall as the internationals see it. I mean, for us, I mean, this means a lot. I mean, it means a lot to us. I mean, negatively, of course, because this wall is converted our towns and cities into an open-air prison. It's preventing our towns from expanding. It's limiting our movement. It's catastrophic on us as Palestinians. So I think we don't feel that there is any relation, or we don't feel that, you know, we don't want to, like, we want to deal with it, you know what I mean, as much as we don't want to see it.
How much has Banksy's work and him, impacted the perception of the wall externally and internally then?
Look, this is like, for a matter of fact, the media talked about the wall when it was built. And then international media never been interested to do more reports about it because it became an old story. So Banksy was one of the first artists to come to Palestine and to do something on the wall and to force media to report the wall again and again. And as it is today with the Waldorf Hotel, there are daily reporting about the wall and about life under occupation.
Do you think that was his intention then? So coming here just to raise awareness of what was going on in Palestine?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. He was sarcastic about it, like when he said that the wall is the largest graffiti and encouraged artists to go and, but definitely, Banksy his interest is to highlight the situation and the injustice and occupation. Banksy went to Gaza in 2014. Yeah, and
did he paint that picture?
That he painted that one, the kids on the tower in Gaza, and like his journey in Gaza was a crazy journey. No one would like sneak through tunnels to get to a war zone just like the war ended to do art. That was something that was something crazy. But of course, when you rescue life, that means that you believe in what you're doing. You're not just doing it for fun. Banksy doesn't need to be, he doesn't need more attention. Already he has lots of attention from around the world.
So when he first came then, he did all these sort of murals, and this wall was empty, and he was doing his first piece. How did he avoid getting caught? Because there's watchtowers all over.
Okay, let me tell you something. That the Israelis don't treat internationals as they treat locals. So I think they cannot act against you as they may act against me. Okay? So, there is no law in Israel that says you cannot make graffiti on the wall, but before, during the first Intifada, which is between 1987 and till 1994, lots of Palestinians got killed because they were writing the wall, or they were arrested. So because Palestinians always wrote something against the occupation, or to inform public what is the next activity, where it's going to happen, because media, we did not have any kind of communication at the time. So I think the Israelis would look at internationals differently than they would look at locals.
So we're in the Waldorf Hotel at the moment. So when did this come up? When was the idea start? When did the idea come about for the Waldorf Hotel, and how did you get involved in that?
The hotel was his idea. It was. I always wanted to do something here with Banksy, something permanent, but it was his idea to create the hotel and the museum and all of the details of it.
And did you ever, in your wildest dreams, imagine that it'd be like a boutique hotel, like this? It's people. Because right at the beginning of the interview, you talked about, international visitors weren't coming, and I've stayed here last night, and there's loads of international visitors here. There's a lot of people here.
After Banksy returned to Bethlehem and made the Santa's ghetto and painted in the streets of Bethlehem, we noticed that there was an increase of the number of tourists that came to Bethlehem just to see his work. So in 2008, after Santa's ghetto, like January, February 2008, there were much more Banksy tourists coming to Bethlehem than Jesus tourists was coming to visit the Church of the Nativity, which was very interesting. That was, I knew that this must be a very successful project because of Banksy involvement in it. Actually, all of our visitors that come here, they come because of Banksy. This is very nice for us, but it's also very, very, I would say, it could be very sad because, just assume that Banksy is not presented here, I think 99% of the clients will not come. But Banksy made the place very powerful. That even when you come for Banksy, you have to encounter the reality and to learn lots of things. Okay, so this is how Banksy have used the place, which is very interesting. You cannot just come here. I mean, to come to the Waldorf Hotel, it's not visiting a gallery or exhibition. Coming to the Waldorf Hotel, it's completely a life-changing experience.
Because in the back you've got the Museum of Palestinian History there as well. So there's an educational piece to this museum.
Very educational. It's very educational, and also the very educational, and also the way it's run under, of course, Banksy supervision and recommendations. Banksy wanted to be sure that everyone that comes here should be disturbed, which means everyone should come here, should encounter the reality and see things in their own eyes. Okay, so we do lots of things to make people get to the reality and have the experience.
Something like sitting up and taking notice of what's around them.
Yeah, like for example, we do, like every day we do 2 tours, wall and refugee. They meet with locals, they meet with people from the refugee camp. Banksy didn't want us to make food here, so people could go out and eat in town. So we provide lots of business to locals, and as well as when people go out, they meet with locals. When you go out at night to eat, you meet with locals, taxi drivers, guides, with restaurant people. It's a whole experience. I mean, the museum, the concept itself, the setup of everything is different than anywhere else in the world.
So for the economy of Bethlehem, what sort of impact do you think this place has had?
Oh, I think we contribute a lot to Bethlehem. I mean, I cannot give you figures because it's not possible to give figures. I mean, I can tell you that since we opened till last week, we kind of had over 120,000 visitors visited the hotel, and I think by March next year, which will be 2 years, we will have almost hopefully 150,000. The first year we received 50,000. The second year we have almost 100,000, which will double the number of the visitors. Most of the people that come and stay in our rooms are, they are Banksy fans, and they come, like many people, they come to the Waldorf Hotel, or they come to Bethlehem because of the Waldorf Hotel, our clients. So some people never thought to come even to the Middle East if we are not here. Okay, so we recruited thousands of visitors to come to the Middle East, to Palestine, of course, to Israel. We created, people come here, they shop, they stay in other hotels, not only in our hotel. They do tours, lots of activities. So we contribute, I think, a lot. We created a new type of tourism in Palestine. And also the place, the project is really very much appreciated by Palestinians. Today the Waldorf Hotel is considered kind of a monument or a shrine in Palestine. Like even our leaders, political leaders or Palestinian Authority leaders, politicians, ministers, they bring their guests to the Waldorf Hotel. Everyone talking very proudly of it. Okay.
I saw a lot. I've spoken to a lot of locals over the past couple of days that have been in here, and Banksy's everywhere. People know who Banksy is. Yeah. There's pictures of his work on the walls. The murals that he did, I think, when he first came here, a lot of them are still actually on the walls. people being taken to the murals. So again, looking at different parts of Bethlehem, must be fantastic.
Yeah, actually, Banksy today is. When you come to Bethlehem, I think you get asked first Banksy or Nativity Church. So it's like, some people, locals deal with Banksy as something holy, it's like a prophet Banksy. You never know. So yeah, he's very, very influential and highly respected as an artist, and also the project itself is. Besides that, we employ lots of people here. We have almost 45 employees working for the Waldorf Hotel. So we created 45 jobs. And the most important thing here is that it's not just the economical part of it, because it's. We are doing fine. We're doing fine. So we're okay. But the most important thing that comes out of the hotel, that today we, as Palestinians, can make our voice get heard by the West, like in the West and the rest of the world, in a positive way through art. We Palestinians pay very high price to make the world hear our voice. For example, when you hear of Gaza and people going to the border every Friday to demonstrate. If you think, they get killed and they get shot. And yesterday I was talking to my friend, he's a doctor. He was telling me that so far, because of these weekly protests that are organized in Gaza at the border, over 2,400 Palestinians were shot by the Israeli army, and some of them were paralyzed, or they were shot on their legs. They cannot walk anymore, and those guys need rehabilitation. And he's done a study for how much it will cost to give rehabilitation and health care for those people for the next 20 years. He's talking about over $2 billion, the cost of rehabilitating, and those people. Why those people are demonstrating or protesting? They know that they cannot liberate Gaza, and they cannot liberate. They are doing all of this to make you in the UK or in the United States hear our voice, tell you, hey, look at us, we're dying here in Gaza. We are, there's occupation, there's injustice. Do something, get involved, contribute. So today we at the Waldorf Hotel, and of course with Banksy ideas, and of course with our ideas as well. We are able to deliver our message to the world with zero casualties. Okay. From both sides, which is amazing. It's great. It's great.
It's just all these people just doing what they can, and you're just doing what you can, and in the only means available to them. Yeah. And that's what you're doing as well.
So I think it's great. I think it's a great project. It's in the long term, it will be very effective and very influential on both sides. Because you have to know that the setup of the Waldorf Hotel is to serve peace. And here I say, when it rains, it should rain on everyone. Which means that when we talk about peace, I'm not talking about peace for us as Palestinians. It's going to be peace for Israel as well. Okay. When we talk about justice, we talk about justice for both. So this hotel, the concept of this hotel is serving peace. It's serving both people. It's good for everyone, okay? And it's very interesting that the Waldorf Hotel is becoming also a venue to recruit the Israelis to come and visit. So we have lots of Israelis who come and visit. Even it's difficult for Israelis to come over because the Israeli checkpoint does not allow the Israelis to come in, but some Israelis kind of go around and pass the Israeli checkpoints and come and visit. Some of them come and stay, and I always try to hear or to kind of see what they say. Like, and we always hear very positive comments from the Israeli visitors. Now, it's important, I think, that more Israelis should come. I mean, we always invite Israelis to come, of course, as civilians, as visitors, because we as neighbors, okay, we are very, there are Israelis living just 5 meters away from us, because just behind the wall is only 4 or 5 meters away from me. But those people know nothing about us. And the gap, the stereotypes are big, and we need a platform to help to break down the stereotypes and to see the other side from human perspective instead of through hostility and hate and
because they might just not be aware at all about
the situation.
Of course,
I mean, most of them are not aware of the situation.
I suppose that's an important thing to consider when you think about this conflict, that actually there's genuine people on both sides have no idea about how the other half live, if you like.
Yeah.
Just a couple more. So how did you first meet Banksy in the first place? How did this all start? Do you remember that?
Sorry again?
How did it all start with you and Banksy? How did you actually get to meet him in the first place? Because you didn't know who he was, it
was recommended by, seems that he had connection with friends of mine in the UK. So he wanted to come. At that time I was working as a tour guide, but there was no tourists coming to Palestine or Israel at that time, so I was unemployed. So they recommended me to him. So
to show him around
to show him and help him in what he's doing. They did not really explain to me exactly what he's doing. So he came as just normal guy, So we had he did lots of things here, painted on the wall. Also, before that, he wanted to see things in his own eyes. So I took him around, went to refugee camps. He just witnessed things in his eyes. He was in Tel Aviv. He was in, I think he had a good experience before he pulled up spray paint and did anything on the wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he did his homework very well before.
So he sort of knew what he wanted to.
Exactly.
To
yeah. Even he was censoring. He was, I think he was trying to not to make mistakes in the art that he made. Which is very interesting.
And do you have a favorite piece of art in the hotel?
Oof.
Yeah, it's a tough question. There's so much.
I never thought about it, by the way. I really don't know. They're all nice, yeah.
There's some nice, there's some good ones.
There is a story, for me, there is a story behind everyone, behind every piece, and when I look at the hotel, sometimes most of the time so far, I remember the nightmare and the headache to install or to prepare the space for that piece to fit in. So this is what I remember.
The actual logistics of installing the art.
Yeah. I mean, because it was a long process. We've done lots of work before. Under, of course, Banksy, communicating with my wife, who's the architect, who worked with Banksy to accomplish this project. Yeah. So, but all of it is nice.
Wisam, thanks very much.
Thank you.